So we are 2 days into the government shutdown, and you know who is following through on his threat to target blue states. He plans to cut billions in funding to New York City, as well as funding in 16 mostly Democratic-led states. He also doubled down with yet another racist deepfake meme against House Minority Leader Jeffries, which then the VP was asked about it yesterday. This is what he had to say.
Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, you know, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I've talked to the President of the United States about that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
So Governor Gavin Newsom just responded with deepfakes mocking Vance. So politics has been reduced to internet trolling and targeted retribution. You know, it's cute, maybe it's funny, but you know, people got stuff to do. People got families to feed. You know, they don't have time for this stuff that y'all y'all are doing. I mean,
well, you know what it feels like?
And if you you know, you can say you're targeting blue states or red states or whatever. You know, you're actually targeting Americans.
Yeah.
That's who you're targeting.
Yes.
Quit trying to draw lines. We don't see the lines. We don't see them. We hear you talk about them. But why are you doing this to the American people? Because, you know, we're the people who pay the tax on that new ballroom. We're the people that pay the tax on all the stuff you're doing. And maybe the people are going to try to hold you to a different standard now. How is this going to end?
I feel as though the kindergartners are running the high school.
Yeah.
But,
That's how it feels.
but I would like to show a tape
Please, do your thing.
of Representative Madeline Dean from Pennsylvania talking to Mike Johnson about this.
Okay.
Watch this tape.
The president is unhinged. He is unwell. What are you doing?
A lot of folks on your side are too. I don't control.
Oh my
them.
God, please. That performance in front of the generals, that
I didn't see it.
is so dangerous. You know I serve on Foreign Affairs and Appropriations. This is a collision of those two things. Our allies are looking elsewhere. Our enemies are laughing.
I just left
You
the
have a
speaker's,
president who is unwell.
Well, I mean, but it's interesting that he doesn't deny it. If you listen to the tape, all he says is, "I don't control him."
Yeah.
Interesting.
Did he know he was on camera? I had just seen that clip.
I don't
It's
know.
kind of
Well,
hard to tell.
they got it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they've worked, you know, it's been reported that they worked together. They were on the Judiciary Committee together, so they know each other
Madeline
very well.
and Johnson.
Yeah,
I mean,
they know each
Dean.
other quite well. And I thought that it was striking that he didn't respond. He's well, he's fine, he's capable. He didn't say that. He just said, you know, I can't speak for him. I can't control him. But I will say again, this shutdown is hurting so many Americans, and what is really driving it is that President Obama passed the Affordable Care Act, giving millions and millions of people health care when they didn't have it, and President Trump wants to take that away. He wants to erase Obama's legacy. That is what this is about. And now 47% of Americans disagree with Trump. They don't approve of how he's handling things. And I think we need to, though, go back to the President Obama, to his mantra, because during his keynote address at the 2004 DNC, remember that, when he sort of got on the stage and became this public figure, he said, "There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. There is not a Black America and a white America and a Latino America and an Asian American Asian America. There's the United States of America." That is where we need to go back to, instead of this silly high school retribution.
That's not happening with Trump. Are you
But it
kidding?
should be happening.
It feels like we're living in like idiocracy. You're just memeing back and forth. No one's trying to solve anything. And a stat that stood out to me, it's from 2023 Quinnipiac poll. 87% of voters said it's inappropriate to shut down the government to be used as leverage in policy disagreements. So I understand why people care about these Obamacare subsidies. It affects red states. It affects blue states. I'm going to predict now they're ultimately going to get extended. Steve Bannon and some other prominent MAGA conservative voices have been telling Donald Trump in the White House, this affects your own voters. They're going to do it as a standalone piece of legislation. But in the meantime, I don't understand what's happening, because what I've heard from Democrats is the Republicans control everything. He has too much power. It's an imperial presidency. But they just gave him the only inch of power they even had by shutting down Congress. They're trying to vote to keep things open, but they gave away the only ounce of leverage that they even had by being in session, being a voting member of Congress who could be subpoenaing things, who could be holding committee hearings. I don't know how this possibly ends as a win for anyone. And I would remind people, furloughed workers, our troops usually we pass a bill that keeps them getting paid during shutdowns. That's not been passed as of when I last checked this morning. They'll get back pay, but if you're somebody who's living close to paycheck, that is not right. It's not right if this lasts 30 days, if it lasts longer than that.
That's not right for anybody.
Everyone needs to just grow up and do their job.
Well, the memes, it's not like they're mocking each other, although they're directing it. It's mocking the issue, which is people do live check to check. And they're sitting at home not being able to get paid or go to work, or they're struggling because other people aren't at work right now and they need those people. I think it makes a mockery of everything. I do remind them, just like the meeting with the generals that was mandatory about all the big important things we had to talk about, that all countries are watching us right now. And this is an embarrassment to the country as they go back and forth. But at the end of the day, I don't think Trump cares. I don't think he necessarily knows what's going on, even with the wheeling and dealing. This is always about a victory. He promised retribution. He promised he wanted to get back at people. And the reason he's punishing blue states is because this whole thing sets him up to go ahead and do that.
Which, by the way, I predicted was what he was going to do. And I want to mention, because you said the ballroom. The ballroom's going to keep being built off of the White House during this, because he's taking private donors who are paying for it. I don't know that Trump's going to feel impacted by this shutdown. I don't know that he is, because his government can decide what stays open and what's being funded.
People keep bitching that the left isn't doing anything, the right is doing all that. The bottom line is the left is doing what it can. This was the thing they felt they could do. And, you got to tip your hat to them, because they don't have the majority. They don't have enough to even fight. So they're trying to do anything they can. And quite honestly, I'm sorry, this is on the right.
Yes,
this is on. I have to say, for me, this is. But that's not why. That's not why I'm saying this. Because the things that they could help with, they're not helping with. They're allowing things to go on. Yesterday we had Mamdani on, and he threatened, not Mamdani, but who threatened
Trump.
Yeah, you say his name.
I'll say it.
Okay. Threatened not to give New York their federal money. Now, that's tampering to me. This is a man who spent a lot of time talking about,
election tampering.
Election tampering. They did this and they did this. And I remember what they did to the women that they accused of election tampering. They ruined their lives.
Election interference, yes.
Yeah.
Interference, tampering, y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
So for me, it's like someone on the other side should say, hey, you need to shut up, because you're giving people so much to take you to court for.
But to be honest, that's Congress's job. I blame Congress in a lot of this. They have basically two powers. The power of the purse, funding the federal government and declaring war. They've ceded both of those to the presidency. So by shutting down the government, funding the government is their job. It is theirs, it is not the president's. And they could say, you don't get any more federal aid. We're not passing another appropriations bill if you're going to cut off New York. But you can't do that when you're shut down and not doing anything.
Well, you could. I mean, they're sort of sitting there.
They're collecting their paychecks and they're able to feed their families.
Then
And they're
why-
going
but-
home
but
at night
why
and they
don't-
should be
Yeah,
doing
but
their job.
I don't want us saying anymore that people aren't trying to get stuff done. They are trying to get stuff done, but they're in not a very good position.